Hi everyone, I'm Shaprim from Smiling Rockets. Welcome to the fourth episode of our IoT and ESP32 series. In today's video, we're going to showcase a fascinating project. It's related to edge computing, and it's a project called an electronic nose. First, let's explore what edge computing actually means. Edge computing is a distributed computing environment close to data sources, processing data and making decisions right at the device level. On the other hand, we have cloud computing, a centralized computing environment where data is collected, processed, and analyzed in a central location. In contrast to cloud computing, edge computing eliminates latency issues from cloud data transmission. It offers real-time data processing and quicker responses. Additionally, it reduces cloud dependency and eases the load on networks and servers. Consequently, edge computing is highly applicable in IoT, particularly in industrial IoT applications. In IoT devices, TinyML stands out as a typical edge computing application. It enables machine learning on low-power devices. Our electronic nose project utilizes an ESP32-S3 chip along with a platform for model training and deployment to precisely detect and classify airborne gas components. This innovative application has significant potential in environmental monitoring and smart home technology. The project uses the ESP32-S3 chip. As one of Espressif's top-tier chips, it offers an excellent balance of performance and energy efficiency in edge computing. We previously covered the ESP32-S3 in episode 2, so let's quickly recap its key features. Now I'll walk you through building this electronic nose project. Along the way, we'll also demonstrate how to train and deploy models using platforms like Edge Impulse. Let's take a quick look at the hardware components of our electronic nose. To begin with, we're using an ESP32-S3 development board for this project. The board serves as core controller, handling all processing and control functions. Next up, we have our gas sensors. These include sensors for methane, carbon monoxide, formaldehyde, and more. They detect various gases present in the air. We'll also need breadboards and jumper wires to connect everything together. As with our previous session, we've provided a connection diagram for reference. You can use this diagram to connect and install all the components. Now let me show you how to solder the components. We'll start by soldering each pin individually. Once soldered, we can insert it into the breadboard. When using it, keep in mind, similar to the first sensor, you'll need to remove the protective film. Now let's solder the ESP32. When soldering the ESP32-S3, it's important to ensure each solder joint is properly filled to prevent cold connections. Great soldering stuff. Let's move on. Next, we'll discuss how to train and deploy the eNose model using Edge Impulse. Edge Impulse is a user-friendly machine learning platform specifically designed for IoT devices. It streamlines model training, optimization, and deployment. It's ideal for edge computing projects like the electronic nose. Let's start with a quick test. We've selected common drinks like cola and grape juice for our experiment. Next, we place the gas sensor in this sealed container. Then we begin collecting odor data. First, we put the drink into this sealed container. We then save the data to our computer. In CSV format. Next, we label each sample with its container name. This helps with later data classification and processing. We then let the drink sit in the sealed container for 10 minutes. We repeat the test several times for each drink. This allows us to collect more data points. Now at this stage, we need to ensure our sent data is as accurate as possible. We should rinse the sample cup with clean water. After each measurement, we need to use a fan to clear the container. To reset the air inside to a neutral state. Then we can proceed with measuring the next sample. Afterwards, we'll store all the collected data on our computer. Allow the sample to settle for 10 minutes. Repeat the measurements several times for accuracy. Next, we'll use aging posts to train a model based on this data. We'll upload the CSV file to our aging post platform. Next, we use aging post to label each dataset. For instance, this one is grape juice, and this one is cola. Now we can use our platform's feature to identify key features for beverage odor analysis using feature correlation. Once we've trained and tested the model, we end up with a fairly accurate model. This model is capable of automatically distinguishing between grape juice and cola based on the odor data we've collected. Okay, now let's cut to a scene with a cup and pour in some cola to test our model. Alright, now we can observe that our model's classification accuracy is remarkably high. It's clear that the model can now recognize this type of data. Next, let's try a more exciting experiment to test. If our model works on a 5-bit ESP32-S3 board. So what are we using for this experiment? Mangoes. We have a greenish unripe mango here, and a ripe mango that's starting to go bad. We'll use our gas sensor to identify which mango is ripe and which is unripe. First, let's prepare the samples. First, we preheat the sensor for 5 minutes. Then we place our test samples in the airtight container and begin collecting SIMD data. Like before we take multiple measurements of each sample. After each measurement, we use this fan to clear the air in the container. Returning it to a neutral state. We then repeat this process for our samples, taking multiple measurements each time. We save the data from each measurement as a CSV file. We name each file based on the sample measured and label each row of data accordingly. After importing our sensor data, now we can train our model automatically as we did earlier. It's important to note here, we might need to choose the target microcontroller, as the model depends on its capabilities and type. This will automatically optimize the model's parameters and capabilities. Next, we'll upload the CSV file to our agent post platform. Then relabel each dataset accordingly. Once the training is complete, we'll have our optimized model ready. The next step is to take this trained model and deploy it onto our ESP32-S3 board. Now let's take a closer look at the process. Let's see how to make this selection. We'll upload this model, and during the process, select the ESP32-S3 as the main controller. This will automatically generate the model file for us. Now let's move on to the deployment process. Follow along as I demonstrate the deployment steps. For this part, we'll use the Arduino IDE to upload the model to our device. First, we'll place the model files in the required directory. Next, we'll download the necessary configuration from the website and paste it into our code. Finally, we'll compile the code and upload it to the device. Once the upload is done, we're ready to go. Now let's place this big mango in our test chamber to check how accurate our model is. As we can see, the MEMS gas sensor can detect if our mango is ripe. The result matches our mango's actual ripeness. Pretty cool, right? This kind of electronic nose can be used in warehouse management, especially for high-value items like fresh fruit in logistics. It helps minimize waste and losses, while providing crucial data insights. This can significantly cut down on waste. Alright, let's recap what we've covered. In today's video, we've walked you through how to use our FireBeetle ESP32-S3 and the TinyML model training platform to create an electronic nose project. We've covered everything from hardware to model training and deployment, showcasing the FireBeetle ESP32-S3's power in edge AI applications. As IoT and edge AI continue to advance, TinyML's potential applications will be vast. The FireBeetle ESP32-S3, capable of running TinyML models on device, will find the opportunities in smart home applications and more. It'll impact industrial automation and environmental monitoring. Well, that wraps up our IoT and SP32 video series. We hope you found this series inspiring. Below this video, you'll find links to the DFRBot community and related resources. We've also included information on relevant ESP32 products. You'll find the product codes in the video, making it easy for you to recreate these projects. Got questions or share your own project? We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Join our maker community. We're thrilled to have you. Join us to share and learn from project experience. We're here to help with any issues you might face. Can't wait to see your creative projects. Thanks for sticking with us till the end. Subscribe for more exciting projects and tutorials. That wraps up this video series. Hope to see you in the next one. Take care.